How you doing? Welcome. It's Wakey time 3. This is unexpected, unplanned, but some things just pop up. I hear all these people talking about the box, the gold box. There's a gold box that looks like the Raiders of the Lost Ark box at Mar-a-Lago for 8 months. And then it gets into Jerusalem. Let me just I'm here to address the gold box. You guys are stuck on this gold box, okay? First of all, if you look up the etymology of round, it means exactly what we think it does. A lot of words don't, but round is round, okay? There's a phrase round about. About means to like a circular involvement. Look it up. Roundabout. That's the phrase. It appears 288 times in the Bible. Okay? So I have some examples which I can't read of roundabout in the Bible. I didn't I'm not reading all 288, but I did find some examples. So we have First King 6. And it came to pass in the 488th year after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month Ziph, which is the second month. So it's the second month after Aries, it's Taurus, that he began to build the house of the Lord. And the house which King Solomon built for the Lord, the length thereof was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 20 cubits, and the height thereof 20 cubits. Cubit is 18 inches. So any of these dimensions or numbers multiplied into inches, you're going to get a factor of 9. 9 in mysticism is consciousness. Okay? Let's move forward. Let's see. 5. So 1 Kings 6:5. And against the wall of the house he built chambers round about. Against the walls of the house round about, both of the temple and the oracle, he made the chambers round about. Mostly through the Bible, you'll hear this phrase round about the camp, round about the city. He looked with his eyes round about. Okay? The two words have to do with circular. And all these stories have to do with circular. Let's take a look. And ye shall compass the king round about, every man with his weapons in his hand, and he that cometh within the ranges, let him be slain, and be ye with the king as he goeth out, as he cometh in. 2 Kings 11:8. 2 Kings 25:17. The height of the one pillar was 18 cubits. A cubit is 18 inches, 9 consciousness. And the chapiter upon it was brass. A chapiter is the top of the column. And the height of the chapiter 3 cubits, and the wreathen work and pomegranates. Pomegranates means seeds. So the seeds upon the chapiter round about. All of brass, and like unto these had the second pillar with wreathen work. 1 Chronicles 6:55. And they gave Hebron in the land of Judah and the suburbs around the city thereof round about it. 2 Chronicles 4:2. Also he made a molten sea of 10 cubits from brim to brim, round in compass. and 5 cubits the height thereof, and a line of 30 cubits did compass it round about. Job 19:12, his troops come together and raise up their way against me and encamp round about my tabernacle. The word tabernacle means round vessel, cauldron. Psalm 18:11, he made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Psalm 88:17, they came round about me daily like water. They encompassed me about together. Song of Solomon 7:2, thy navel is like a round goblet, which wanteth not liquor. Thy belly is like a heap of wheat set about with lilies. Call together the archers against Babylon, all the ye that bend the bow. Camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Surrounded. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done, do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. Jeremiah 52:14, and all the army of the Chaldeans that were with the captain of the guard break down all the walls of Jerusalem round about the city. And a chapiter of brass was upon it, and the height of one chapiter was 5 cubits, with network and pomegranate seeds upon the chapiters round about, the tops of the columns, all of brass. The second pillar also, and the seeds were like unto these. Jeremiah 52:22. I could go through the whole book. I mean, like I said, there's 288 sources around about, and all of these depictions are around a mountain, round about a city, especially Jerusalem, which is around and brain shaped. He looked with his eyes round about. Okay? These are all circular movements. In fact, in Ezekiel, anytime they depict or describe Ezekiel's visions, they're circular. So we have, Ezekiel 1:18. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes around about them four. Ezekiel 1:28, as the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud of the day of rain, the rainbow, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of all the likeness of the glory of the Lord, and when I saw it, I fell upon my face and heard a voice of one that spake. All through Ezekiel, I have a few, 5, 6 more here, round about. And anytime these things are drawn or painted in antiquity, they're circular, okay? Jonah, the waters compassed me about, even to the soul. The depth closed me round about. Zechariah 12:2, behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. In the New Testament, Mark 1:28, and immediately his fame spread abroad throughout all the region round about Galilee. So everywhere around a lake, a sea, around sea. Mark 3:34, and he looked round about on them which sat about him, and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren, there sat around him. He looked round about, it's still circular. Even if it's 4 people in front of you, it's circular. Mark 11:11, and Jesus entered Jerusalem and into the temple, and when he had looked round about upon all things, and now the eventide was come, he went out unto Bethany with the 12, round about the 12. Luke 2:9, and lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. Acts, and as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. Round about from heaven. Okay? All of this. If you look at the paintings, you look at the drawings, this is shown circular. Let's see. This is important. Hebrews 9:4, which had the golden censer and the Ark of the Covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod, which had budded, and the tables of the covenant. Revelation 4:3, and he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald. Every time these revelation pictures are drawn or painted, it's always these winged angels just round about the throne. Revelation 4:4, and round about the throne were 24 seats, and upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their head crowns of gold. Revelation 4:6, and before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal, and in the midst of the throne and round about the throne were 4 beasts full of eyes before and behind. So, almost the whole Bible described roundabout and is depicted as circular in their descriptions ever since it had been written. Except for Exodus. Exodus particularly, people, they get kind of, I don't want to say obsessed, they get into rectangles. I like rectangles a lot. For some reason, the whole book, roundabout, right? Like everything in nature and the whole universe, roundabout, spiraling, spinning. But for some reason in Exodus, they get obsessed with rectangles. The tabernacle, the Ark of the Covenant, they're depicted as rectangular boxes. Now, like I said before, the word tabernacle means round vessel, cauldron. When these stories were written, okay? So the whole book, The whole book is roundabout everything, and nobody has a problem with that. But back in Exodus, they're like, no, it's got to be rectangles. It's got to be straight rectangles with a rectangle inside. This doesn't make any sense. In fact, in Exodus, nowhere does it mention a box. Okay? There's no box in Exodus. It doesn't say to build a rectangle. None of it says that. In fact, it repeats roundabout. The word round from Latin, rotundus, like a wheel, circular, round. Just to verify. About from Old English, a bouton, earlier on bouton, on the outside of, around the circumference of, enveloping, circumference, circular. So, it's good. Let's look at Exodus. What's it say? Exodus 25:11. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, within and without shalt thou overlay it, and thou shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about. Exodus 25:24, and thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a crown of gold round about. Exodus 25:25, and thou shalt make unto it a border of an hand breadth round about, and thou shalt make a golden crown to the border thereof round about. Exodus 27:17. All the pillars round about the court shall be filleted with silver, and their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass. Exodus 28:32, and there shall be a hole in the top of it, in the midst thereof it shall have a binding of woven work round about the whole of it. Just showing what roundabout is describing, as it were the whole of a habergeon, its chainmail. A whole chainmail, habergeon, that it be not rent. Exodus 33, thou shalt overlay it with pure gold. This is all talking about your gold box. That's not a box. Okay. Exodus 33, thou shalt overlay it with pure gold in the top thereof and the sides thereof, round about circular, and the horns thereof. And thou shalt make unto it a crown of gold round about. Exodus 37:2, and he overlaid it with pure gold within and without, and made a crown of gold to it round about. Exodus 37:11, and he overlaid it with pure gold, and made thereunto a crown of gold round about. Any question to why they're repeating this? Maybe so we'd get it. Exodus 37:12, also he made thereunto a border of a handbreadth round about, and made a crown of gold for the border thereof round about. Exodus 37:12. 26, and he overlaid it with pure gold, both the top of it and the sides thereof, round about. And the horns of it also he made unto it a crown of gold round about. I can't find, I mean, it's just more of this. Round about the hole, we know what a hole looks like. I don't know. Tabernacle means round vessel when these stories were written. I don't. I don't know how to press this point anymore. There's just more. There's just more of just, this is just Exodus. I mean, there's stuff I want to get into. I have the Magic Kingdom coming up. It's Wakey Time 3. It's the Ark of the Covenant Part 1. This is just Part 1. So I have to leave some for Part 2 and however many parts we need to do. It's going to be a lot. It's 7, 9. This is Part 1. I'm just rubbing the lamp right now. Okay? You got to understand, like, this is just literal. Just on your literal box theory. That's not what the story said. The whole book says roundabout, depicted as roundabout. And in Exodus, we've got rectangles. On the surface, that's confusing to me. I can get to why it's round, and we will. That's why this is part 1. Yeah, I think this is all definitely moving on forward in the future. Exodus 40:33, and he reared up the court round about the tabernacle, round vessel, and the altar, and set up the hanging of the court gate. So Moses finished the work. We're going to get to what Moses was working on. It's interesting, though, that the phrase roundabout, according to BibleGateway.com, which I use a lot, seems to be a pretty good website and reference work. I always use King James Version, but it's mentioned 288 times. 2 plus 8 plus 8 is 9. If you keep breaking it down, you keep adding numbers up. 9 means consciousness in mysticism, if you don't know. So right there, the book's trying to tell you that this is about consciousness. It's about your mind. I randomly chose 36 quotes. I didn't use all of them. I skipped some. But I have them on paper here, and it ended up being 36. 3 plus 6 is 9, which is consciousness. That's going to move us into part 2. It's Wakey Time, the Ark of the Covenant, part 2. It's Wakey Time 3, the Ark of the Covenant, part 1. To be honest, I don't know what video is coming after this. Um, in the essence of sliders, I'll leave you with this. Look up the Kabbalah tree of life, where instead of 7 chakras, you have 7 chakras, but there's the third chakra gets split into 2, the fifth chakra gets split into 2, and the sixth chakra gets split into 2, and it becomes 10. It's the tree of life. Look up the Kabbalah tree of life if you do not know. If you do know, think about the Kabbalah tree of life. Look at a picture of it, and then listen to this. I don't have the Bible passage where this comes from. I'll have to look it up, but it's in there. 32 and 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, 3 branches of the candlestick out of the one side, 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side. 3 bowls made like unto almonds with a knop and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch with a knop and a flower. So in the 6 branches that come out of the candlestick, go look at the tree of life. And in the candlestick, so then now there's 3, shall be 4 bowls made unto almonds, and their knops and their flowers. And there shall be a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceedeth out of the candlestick. Their knops and their branches shall be of the same, and it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. And thou shalt make the 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the 7 lamps thereof, that they may give light over against it. So yes, there's 7 lamps, but there's the pineal, the throat, and the third, the temptation, the solar plexus, the place of the sun. They all split out into those 3 branches that the Bible talks about. It's the Kabbalah tree of life. Like I said, I don't remember the passage. I didn't copy that for some reason, but I'm just throwing this at the end. This very much has to do with the Magic Kingdom video, which we will get to, but I've heard so much talk about this gold box that looks like the Raiders of the Lost Ark box, and it's at Mar-a-Lago, and it's Trump, so it must be crazy. And it got sent to Israel. I don't know. I've seen some video clips, and I'm just like, did you read the book? It doesn't say there's a box. It says roundabout. Roundabout. This is its Wakey time. Part 3. The Ark of the Covenant, Part 1. Until next time, whatever we do, it's Wakey time. And I love you. Take care of yourself, everybody. Thank you.